Hello. In this section, I'll talk about a newer novel inotropic agent, that is Levosimendan. So, uh, Levosimendan, this is a new novel inotropic agent. Inotropic agent. Now, theoretically, it has shown, because of its mode of action and its effect on the multiple system apart from the system of interest, cardiovascular system, it has theoretically shown many benefit, and still a lot of studies are undergoing of its use in different clinical conditions. And still the results which we are getting is mixed kind of result. All those things, what are the important studies and what is the mode of action of the drug, everything we will discuss in this section. Now, before that, let us see some of the questions of Levosimendan, and after end of the discussion of this drug, these questions should be solved. So, what is the primary mechanism of action of Levosimendan? So, mechanism of action, mode of action. So, focus on mode of action during the discussion. That will answer this question. Then, which of the following is a major hemodynamic effect of Levosimendan? Again, a question on the pharmacodynamic effect. So, by this mode of action, what is the pharmacodynamic effect? So, by pharmacodynamic effect, we will solve this question. Then, regarding the pharmacokinetic of Levosimendan, what is true? So, we have to know about the pharmacokinetic as well of the drug. Then, a 60-year-old patient with acute coronary syndrome related cardiogenic shock on beta blocker, which inotrope is less likely to have its efficacy attenuated by beta blocker? So, which inotrope does not act through the alpha and the beta receptor, through the beta 1 receptor, we have to talk about. So, again this question all on mode of action of Levosimendan. Then, what is the most commonly reported adverse effect? So, we will talk about the adverse effect as well, and we will solve that question on the basis of that. What is the recommended dosing strategy? So, how do we use this drug? We will discuss. So, coming on the drug, before talking about Levosimendan, how does the inotrope act? What are the major mode of action of the different inotropes? So, they have to act on heart, then let's say, result of most of the inotrope is by increasing the calcium influx, by increasing the calcium. That is the that would increase the contractile function of the myocardial filaments. So, most of the inotrope acts by increasing their calcium, but there are some inotrope which would act in a different manner, like we have vasopressin which acts through V1 and V2 receptor, but that's not a inotrope, that is mostly a vasopressor. Vasopressin is mostly a vasopressor. So, when we are talking about inotrope at this point of time, we'll concentrate that what are the mode of action of inotrope. So, the main mechanism by which inotropes improve tissue perfusion. Now, vasopressor improves tissue perfusion by vasoconstriction and maintaining the perfusion. But how does inotrope improves their tissue perfusion? By increasing the cardiac contractility, is by increasing cardiac contractility. And this they do by increasing intracellular calcium, by increasing intracellular calcium. Now, this can be facilitated by number of pathways. So, this can be facilitated by increasing the cyclic AMP, that is cyclic AMP, the second messengers that which causes the increased calcium ion mobilization. Number 1, by increasing cyclic AMP, that is this is the second messenger for causing increased calcium mobilization. And most of your inotropes, like your dobutamin, your most of the inotropes acts by this mechanism, dopamine, dobutamine, right? They acts by this mechanism. Then the second one is inhibition, by inhibition of phosphodiesterase. So most of the catecholamine inotropes acts by the first mechanism, inhibition of phosphodiesterase 3, type 3, which is responsible for breaking down of cyclic AMP. So inhibition of phosphodiesterase, diesterase type 3. Now drugs like catecholamine inotropes like milrinone, etc., they are phosphodiesterase 3 inhibitors. But both type 1 and type 2, they are increasing the calcium mobilization. So by increasing calcium mobilization, they are increasing the cardiac contractility, but they will be accompanied with other side effects of increased calcium mobilization as well, right? So they will have those kind of side effects. Now there are another group of drugs which directly increase amount of ionized calcium available in plasma, right? So this is directly increasing the amount of ionized plasma, calcium in the plasma. And there is the drug of interest of ours, which I am talking about, increasing myocardial cell sensitivity to calcium. So this is not increasing the calcium, this is increasing the myocardial cell sensitivity to the calcium. And our drug of interest, levosimendan, does the same thing. So it increases the myocardial cell sensitivity to calcium. So it will not have those side effects which the catecholamine inotropes and some non-catecholamine inotropes has, which is increasing the calcium mobilization, right? Then there are drugs which inhibit sodium potassium ATPase like digoxin, right? Then there are drugs which like glucagon, etc. How do they increase the cardiac contractility? By acting on adenylate cyclase. So there are various mechanisms by which the inotropes improve the tissue perfusion. The inotrope of interest in this topic is levosimendan, which is increasing the myocardial cell sensitivity to calcium. So let us talk about levosimendan. Levosimendan, right? Now this is a novel inotrope. This is a novel inotrope that sensitizes myocardium to calcium without increasing the oxygen consumption, So this will not have the demerit of increasing the oxygen consumption which other calcium mobilizer will have. So what is chemically levosimendan? So chemically it is active R isomer, R enantiomer of cimendan. Cimendan is the racemic mixture. Its active R isomer is levosimendan. Remember, it's the dextro isomer, the S enantiomer is 35 times less potent. So R enantiomer has been separated in the form of levosimendan. That's why cimendan is the main compound, the racemic mixture. It's levo enantiomer. So it is levosimendan. Now how do we commercially get it? We get it in an ampoule of 2.5 milligram per ml, 1 ampoule, yellowish solution, right? So this is what is commercially available of levosimendan. So let us talk about mode of action. What is the mode of action of levosimendan? So already I said it increases the calcium sensitization to the myocardium fibrils. So mode of action is primarily by calcium sensitization, So since calcium sensitization of the myocardium is increasing, it is having the effect on both during systolic and the diastolic phase. So it is improving improving systolic contraction and diastolic relaxation. So it is improving systolic contraction and diastolic relaxation. Apart from acting by calcium sensitization, it has also some action on some other receptors. It also acts on calcium channel activation, and also acts on mitochondrial ATP sensitive potassium channel activation, right? So mitochondrial ATP sensitive potassium channel activation. Okay. So these are the three let's say receptors on which the levosimendan will act. It acts by calcium sensitization in myocardium, potassium channel activation, and mitochondrial ATP potassium channel activation, ATP dependent sensitive potassium channel activation. Let us talk how would these do the action. So calcium sensitization, as I said, the calcium sensitization will improve systolic contraction and diastolic relaxation. So it has both the inotropic effect and luxotropic effect, both. So improve systolic contraction and diastolic relaxation. In presence of calcium, levosimendan binds to N-terminal of cardiac troponin C, stabilizes the calcium-induced conformational changes, increasing the actin-myosin cross-bridge formation and thus enhancing the systolic contraction. The opposite happens in diastole. As a result of reduced calcium concentration, improves relaxation. So it synchronizes with the systole and diastole. Calcium sensitization as opposed to mobilization increases contractility without increasing the myocardial oxygen consumption, as we already talked about. Now, apart from this, there has been some effect of levosimendan has been seen on phosphodiesterase 3 inhibition also. So little bit it will help in calcium mobilization as well. So it is also to some degree phosphodiesterase 3 inhibitor. So this would also contribute in positive inotropy. Okay. Then the second channel which it was acting on, potassium channel activation. So by potassium channel activation, this potassium channel is on the vascular smooth muscle. So activation causes a vasodilatation. So also binds and opens the potassium channel on vascular smooth muscle. Potassium influx hyperpolarizes the cell and aids in vasorelaxation and vasodilatation by reducing the intercellular calcium. So basically, like dobutamine, which is increasing the inotropy and causing a vasodilatation, levosimendan is also producing the same two effect, but by a different mechanism. Dobutamine is a catecholamine, so it will help in increased calcium mobilization, and that would cause the side effects which it has. Levosimendan is increasing the calcium sensitization of the myocardium, and that is causing a synchrony with the normal calcium action on the systolic and diastolic phase of the myofibril action. Okay. Apart from that, it acts on potassium channel activation, so by which it causes vasodilatation. Now, you have to remember this because when we give levosimendan, there is a possibility a hypotension can happen. So, we accompany it with a vasopressor, right? Okay. Then mitochondrial ATP sensitive potassium channel activation. So, it would cause the activation of potassium channel on mitochondrial membrane. This would result in hyperpolarization, reduces the calcium influx and oxidative phosphorylation, reducing the metabolism during ischemia in the myocardial cell, contributing to ischemic preconditioning. So it can be cardioprotective as well. So it has some cardioprotective role. Now, this would result in having positive effect on the organ of interest, heart, and also on some other organs which we will discuss. Before that, let us talk a little bit about the pharmacokinetic of the agent. So, we will first discuss the pharmacokinetic. In pharmacokinetic, I will talk about the absorption, I would talk about the distribution of the drug, I would talk about the metabolism of the drug, and then I will talk about the pharmacodynamic. And by discussing the pharmacodynamic, I will talk about what? I will talk about the effect on the organ of interest, cardiovascular system, and some effect on some of the other organs like your kidney. So some renal effect it has, and some other organs as well we will discuss. So let us first discuss pharmacokinetics.